There we go. Get everything out of the shot that's not supposed to be in the shot. That's how we do it here on TK and Drinks. Thank you all for being here today. I'm your host, TK. This is TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live. Every Tuesday, I, TK, the host of TK and Drinks, the YouTube channel, this Facebook group page thing, the Instagram account, all that stuff. That's me, baby. I do that personally. I'm the only one who operates it and runs it. So if you interact on there, you're interacting with me. But I'm the man at all those places, so go ahead and give me a follow, share, like, subscribe, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or any other sort of way of getting at me. Let me know you're interested. I appreciate all that stuff. It definitely helps with all the algorithms and getting me some exposure. So please go ahead and follow, like, share, subscribe. I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds cheesy. And I know it gets annoying as fuck from all the cats out there. But, hey, man, got to push for yourself. And if you're not going to push for yourself that hard, ain't nobody going to push hard for you. So please support your boy. Do what you can. And thank you all so much for giving me some of your time today. If you're here Tuesday Night Live with me, thank you so much. If you're watching here later on during the week or in the future, again, thank you for being here. So every Tuesday I like to get, or almost every Tuesday, I have been slacking a couple weeks, but had some family stuff going on the past couple weeks. It's been just busy, you know, getting, that's all I can say. It's just been busy the past couple weeks, so that's why I had a TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live. But we are rocking and rolling, full steam ahead to keep those coming at you steady, you know, like we have been. So again, look out for more of those Tuesday Night Live videos from TK and Drinks. But if you're new here, every Tuesday, like I was saying, I get together, chop it up with the viewers on the show. What's going on, Texas? Oh man, before I get into the rest of my channel, I want to give a quick shout out to Texas. If you ain't seen him over there on Man-Made Mead's channel with Doing the Most, they got a jam thing going on over there, so go scope out that that video over there. Texas Longhouse, Man-Made Mead, Doing the Most collab. Put some love on that video too. But like I was saying, every Tuesday get together with the viewers, with the people, with the lovers and the drinkers, and we drink a beer. We bullshit about what's going on during our week. We talk a little mead, we talk a little shit, and pretty much just hang out and kind of just freestyle it for an hour and see what's, you know, see what it is. Oh, snap, my man Tony. What's going on, brother? So, a big part of TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live, formerly the Beers and Bullshit series, is a beer. Gotta be drinking on something while we're talking and chopping it up. And today, we're going to be peeling the price stickers off of our cans, first of all, because ain't none of y'all need to know how much I overpay for my beers. I think we all overpay for our beers, though. But tonight is going to be from one of my favorite breweries. I'm really discovering, I like a lot of their stuff, is this place out of Middletown, New York called, I'm not sure if that's going to be able to get in focus there, but Equilibrium Brewing. So these guys make some amazing IPAs. I haven't had much from them in the realm of, well, anything other than IPA. I know I've seen I think I've seen a Pilsner can or a lager can or two maybe from them, but pretty much the vast majority of their stuff is IPA related. And these guys do it up. I mean, they have, I think I've done a couple other, at least one of the other cans on here, one called DSDT, and it looks like the science math equation and formula and stuff. And it's man, it's all sciencey and everything. When you read it on their page, they go on to this big diatribe thing about the science of this type of cryo hop 119 and all this stuff. And it's all, I mean, if you're not like a super beer nerd, it's going to be just way over your head. But they do it up right. They put the love and the energy into their products. And that's what TK and Drinks is about. Supporting products that put love, time, energy, and, you know, themselves into their products. You know, having started making mead myself, not to toot my own horn, that's absolutely boring at this point. I feel like I've done it a bigger disservice than making it terrible. It's just boring. But you know, we try to support the cats that are doing it right. And as a, like I said, as a mead maker now, I'd like to think that that's only going to make the quality of the program even better and be able to be a little more precise, a little more accurate, a little more knowledgeable about what we're doing here in the process and everything like that. So like I said, if you're not a super beer nerd, all that get back around to the equilibrium. If you're not a super beer nerd, you might not get a whole lot of out of their write-ups and everything like that. But I tell you what, their flavor profiles, you don't got to read none of that. You can just pretty much grab any one of these cats cans, double, single, triple, dry hop, double dry hop, triple dry hop. It doesn't matter. It is gonna be tasty beverage because these guys, like I said, know what the fuck they're doing. I think New York right now is probably one of the biggest beer scenes. I know up in the Midwest they got some big things going on in like the Chicago, Minnesota area and stuff like that. But I'm telling you right now, for me, New York beers are some of my favorites for the IPAs. You know, the fruited seltzers and the fruited sours and the pastry stouts and all that stuff. That stuff is pretty much spread across the map pretty good. But for IPAs, I'm really digging everything that's coming out of New York right now. So, what are y'all drinking on tonight out there? Whoever's around still, what you got in your cup? You drinking a mead? You drinking a beer? We drinking water, trying to stay hydrated for work tomorrow. We drinking a nice glass of vino. Oh, Better Judge A Mead. Hopefully that's my buddy Nick, only because I can't remember the other two cats' names. But what's going on, dudes, there in Australia? You guys are either up late or early. 17 frickin' hours difference. But thanks for showing up. Appreciate the love, man. Love what you guys are doing out there. Glad you guys are out of your lockdown and rocking and rolling. Heard you guys had a big mead sale event going on there at the Better Judge A Meadery and I can't remember if it's Gippsland or Gippsland, Australia down there, but they did it big, and man, I'm dying to try some of their stuff. If you haven't checked them out, go give them a follow. Check out their social media pages as well. Here in America, we can't necessarily buy their stuff, but we can always show them a little bit of love, and plus keep up on what the rest of the world is doing, you know, as far as mead making and whatnot, because these guys work with some pretty cool bush honey, they were telling me. Also, go check out my interview with Nick that I did over on my What's the Story series. It gives us a little peek into the behind the scenes there at the Better Judge A Meadery. And yeah, Australian bush honey. It sounds absolutely amazing. I salivate just thinking about all the different varieties and everything that we could get. That he was telling me they could get, that we as mead makers could potentially get from there. You know, varietal honey, man. I mean, that's where it's at. So let's give this equilibrium a little bit of try. Top it off here with the rest of the can. And one of the things I do like about their stuff is most of the time, like with a lot of these beers, I'm getting a lot of yeasty boys down at the bottom hanging out. And these guys don't have a lot of that. Pretty much across the board, most of their beers are pretty well, I mean, it might be hazy, but they seem to be pretty well filtered. I don't know if that's like a thing, and if I'm saying that's a double negative, but they seem to be a lot cleaner than a lot of the other brews that I've had. Oh yeah, super juicy, grapefruity, a little bit orange citrusy type in there as well. This is a double IPA, 8.5% Fulcrum. Love that artwork. Little imbalance thing there going on, but it works. I mean, I don't know what it's supposed to represent, if it's out of balance by being in balance, if it's something, but I'm telling you. Ooh, a little bit of piney note on the end there as well. So definitely digging that. You know what I don't have in front of me is my clock to try to keep some sort of semblance of time on this TK and drinks thing, so I don't let shit get away from me. Oh, there we go. Now we got some time there. Okay. What else did we got going on today? Oh, that's right. I got some new meads in today from Spacetime Mead and Cider Works, and I took a picture of them, but of course they're on my phone that I'm currently using for to talk to you guys. But I will be posting a picture of those today, later on tonight, possibly first thing in the morning, depending on what I got going on. I'm trying to get that posted up tonight, but I wanted to bring some bottles with me, but state law has got to let them sit at the shop for a 24-hour period after they come in. So let's try to abide by the law and all that stuff. Try not to lose our license over something silly like that. But we got a Raspberry Mellow Mel collab with Honey Hole Winery there. They're both in Pennsylvania. If you've seen my show before, I've carried that Raspberry Mellow Mel before. It's probably my favorite raspberry anything I've had. It's like, I don't mean like raspberry jam in like a bad way, like it's cloying and say, it's like the best raspberry like gelato you ever had in your life. I mean, I ever had in my life, and I love raspberry gelato. I mean, raspberry sorbet, raspberry anything like that. That juxtaposition between the tart and the sweet, it's always been one of my favorite. It gets you a little bit of astringent in the back there. But I'm telling you, so that raspberry one is on point. Actually, I liked it better than that framboise. What was that one I had? I can't find the bottle right now, but I had that framboise. Yes, I can. I'm gonna find that bottle right now, because where'd it go? Apparently, I'm not finding that bottle right now. But I had that bottle of Framboesa, or what, I can't even remember how it was pronounced. Some $100 bottle of $100 bottle from Superstition. Drank it on Mead Day with some other mead maker friends here locally, the cats from Scale and Feather, and we all pretty much thought the same thing. It was really good. Raspberry, aged 2 years in port barrels, but it was either my uneducated palate or just lost nuances. But I really didn't think it was. I mean, I trying to go out and get ports and all these different types of, trying to try wine when I can, when I know there's going to be somebody there to help me out. And I just really didn't get anything out of that Superstition one that was like, wow, this really stands out. I mean, again, there might be some subtle nuances that I missed because I'm still relatively new to this whole thing and everything. But ultimately, I personally like the raspberry one the one that I bring in, and it's at a much better price. That $100 bottle of Schramm's is, well, that's a $100 bottle for a 375. I don't know many people willing to pay that. I had to do it for Mead Day, and sometimes you got to sacrifice to advance your palate in this world. And now I have that knowledge and I have that information in there as what that tastes like. I got that logged and registered in the old brain cabinet. But yeah, so definitely much bigger fan of my raspberry one than the Schramm's one. But like I said, Schramm's. I keep saying that, Superstition. But it is what it is. Everybody's got their own preference. And then I also brought in two other ones I'd never had from Space Time Mead and Cider Works there in Dunamore, Pennsylvania as well. Ooh, excuse me. I picked up a blueberry mellow mel. It's supposed to be like a slice of blueberry heaven, from what I understand. I mean, this raspberry one's like raspberry gelato. This is supposed to be like blueberry pie. I don't think it has like the pie spices and stuff in it, so I'm not quite sure what to expect there. But it's the dessert blueberry mellow mel that I guess it's everybody that has had both of them that I've talked to says that the blueberry one is superior to the raspberry one just in overall quality. If you prefer the raspberry flavor, that's one thing, but they're saying that the blueberry is a superior product. So I'm really excited to see how that comes out. And then another one that I picked up, the final one I picked up for them for this run, is one that they just made for the first time, but I've had this flavor profile from a couple different places, and it's a personal favorite of mine, and picked up a lavender one. That is not something that I would have ever thought I would have been into, like lavender, drinking lavender. Like my mom always had that in her potpourri when I was growing up, and like had like lavender swags hanging around, like pinned up on the wall for for decoration and for smell and stuff like that. But when I saw my first one from Black Labs Craft Meadery, Lavender Love, I specifically was going out of my way to pick flavors that I was either hesitant to try because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, or just pick stuff out of my comfort zone because, that's just the way I was approaching the situation. And ended up falling in love with the lavender one. I was super scared at first, especially when it smelled like, it's not like flowersy, like floral, but it definitely had, like, not floral, I don't think floral to a fault, but it smelled like lavender. You know what I mean? It had that, it didn't smell like potpourri, it didn't smell like lavender extract, it just smelled like fresh lavender. But man, that was phenomenal. And then I had another lavender one, I believe was from, oh crap, now I can't remember who the other lavender one I had was from. But I really liked that one as well. I just remember specifically that the two lavender ones I had, I liked both of them. So I picked up another lavender one from Space Time there, and going to put that out here on the market, and I'm going to advocate hard when I'm going to do my sampling for that lavender mead. Especially, I haven't tried it yet, so I guess I have to hold back a little bit, but man, I'm hoping it kicks ass as much as the other two, because it's another. Both of those are also collabs with that Honey Hole Winery. If you haven't seen that interview, I suggest go check out my interview with Dan Schreffler from Space Time Mead and Cider Works. He talks about where he picked up his knowledge of mead making, and he actually does it there in his small town in Pennsylvania. He's got a lot of winemakers in the area, a lot of old school, I guess, older like Italian winemaker type of cats, and he's picked up a lot of traits and tricks and brewing techniques and everything from them. So the dude's definitely. From what I've tasted, of all the different brands I've tasted, I mean, not that many. I'm up maybe, a dozen and a half to 2 dozen, between 18 and 24 different meaderies I've tried. But his is definitely the most, what I would consider wine-like. It doesn't necessarily have like that vinous taste like a wine, like wine does. You can get a lot of like that, what do they call that? Terroir. I can't pronounce most French words or Italian words, but I think it's terroir. But it's like that, the earthiness, the Mother Nature puts into the product. I don't think it's quite up to that same par like you do with the wine level. But this dude gets some seriously proper meads coming out of his spot. I mean, properly made. Again, I can't. Your flavor palate's your flavor palate. You're not going to like something. You're just not going to like it. But I mean, you can at least sit there and appreciate it for its technical aspects and stuff like that. So definitely scoop up a bottle of Space Time Mead and Cider Works something if you ever get the chance. Because if you want to try something that is more wine leaning, and somebody who uses a lot of those more wine techniques, he does his stuff up good. So we got the raspberry, we got the blueberry, we got the lavender on deck now. Coming in, should be available later this week here in Phoenix at all the different spots that I'm at. And I'm doing my best to get into a couple more spots, and going to be expanding down to Tucson and hopefully up to either Flagstaff or Prescott here before the end of the year. I want to be out of Phoenix. I want to be in at least one more town in Arizona. I mean, I'm already in technically Scottsdale and Mesa, but I want to be like out of the Phoenix Valley. I want to be down in Tucson, Phoenix, Tucson, maybe Flagstaff, Prescott, Sedona, somewhere in there, because I'm tired of Superstition having the run on this place, and having all the local guys have the run on this place. Not that some of those guys don't make some good stuff. Scale and Feather makes some decent stuff. Superstition, obviously they couldn't have got to where they were at without making a quality product. But they've held the reins tight on this for a long time, and there's all this beer coming in from out of state, and it's really good stuff. So I'm gonna make sure to add mead to that list, and like I said, get it widely distributed. So what else do we got going on here for TK and drinks? Oh, check my clock, trying to. Okay. I got more Brimminghorn mead coming in as well. Brimminghorn mead coming in from Delaware. I got 3 flavors coming in from them as well. I believe I have a white grape piment coming in that I'm excited to try. I believe I've got, now I can't remember what I got from that. It has so many to choose from, I can't remember exactly which ones I ordered, which is kind of cool, because when I go there and open up the box, it's like, it's like Christmas again. It's like I get to unbox for myself. But there was 2 other ones that I picked up as well, and they were all very, if you've never had any of Brimminghorn stuff, all their stuff is so unique. He always picks very seemingly like contradictory like flavor profiles and stuff like that. But John Talkington is, from what I'm discovering, is a master at mixing flavors and at putting flavors together, and like that. Was that one, the Legend of Norsini or whatever? It had it was like blackberries and raspberries and peppercorns and clove, and it was amazing, the liveliness that the spiciness brought to the pepper, brought to the spiciness of the peppers brought to the berries. And like they got another one, a Toretto. It's like a cherry almond type of flavor, and it tastes like a slice of cherry cobbler. So it's just absolutely amazing, all these flavors that the dude can pack in there. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Those will probably be landing in Phoenix either later this week or first part of next week. And so that was, I got that piment, and there was 2 more. Hildy's Pie which I can't remember what the flavor profile on that one is. Oh no, strawberry rhubarb. That's what that was, a sweet strawberry rhubarb, which I'm excited about because the only other strawberry rhubarb I had, well, good, from Prairie Rose Meadery was not... hey, take it easy, Carlos. Thanks for stopping by, man. That other strawberry rhubarb one that I had was dry. And, I mean, it was good. I like the fact that I found a dry mead that I liked, but... I've been, you know, strawberry rhubarb pies and stuff when I was growing up as a kid. It's on and popping for a sweet strawberry rhubarb mead. So picked up one of those, and there was one other one that I can't remember for the life of me. I am trying, but it's coming into town, so be on the lookout for that one as well. So that being said, what's next on the agenda? Oh, another drink of the beer. Yep, still delicious, still good. So, retooling TK and drinks, you know, as this whole, basically seemingly this whole year is TK and drinks 2.0, the next generation, and whatever else. I guess I'm just trying to make sure to give the highest quality product that I can. And I feel like a lot of times, unfortunately, that doesn't come across. But I'm really trying to figure out a way to get a better quality product to all you guys and to viewers that we don't have yet, because I want to be able to draw people in and turn our TK and drinks empire that we're creating here into into something that a lot of people want to be a part of. You know, and unfortunately, I don't think that I don't think what I've been doing, like I said, has been working. So I've been retooling everything, slowing down, not forcing myself to put out videos. And I feel like I've established myself to the point to where if I miss a week or two, it's not going to be the end of the world. And I feel like sometimes I need to do that to put out, again, like I said, a better quality product. So I've had a little behind the scenes. One of the things I'm planning for December is almost like a bloopers reel or a oops, things almost happened type of things, because I got a couple videos that, well, to be honest with y'all, there was two of the interview series videos that never got released because I messed up technically on the videos, or not necessarily technically, but I did mess up, but it was in like a technical, like a production sense. So I had one video that I shot with Scale and Feather Mead here in Avondale. I shot that on Mead Day. It was down at their spot, but some of the footage didn't get transferred over. I thought I grabbed everything when I transferred over the footage from the camera to the computer, and I apparently did not. So that one doesn't have an ending. I missed like the last 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes of footage. So it goes into, it just get into like the last question, and then they go into my the little quick fire questions, and then it just cuts. And I don't have anything. I can't finish it. The footage doesn't exist. So it's like, this 3/4 of a pretty good interview, and it's just gone. And then the one that is I hate the most, that I'm the most heartbroken about, is I had an interview that when I was up in Washington, I went to where is it at? Oh, that's not. I can't reach it here, but I went to Hierophant Meadery up in Woodby Island, Washington. I got this dope ass hoodie from them. Walked around their whole property, got a kick-ass interview. And I was there for like 2.5-3 hours. I mean, it was just got some amazing footage, behind the scenes footage in the shop and everything. Yeah, didn't have any audio. So it broke my heart. I mean, it pretty much like ruined the entire trip for me when I found that out. So I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I can go back up there, we can do it again, and all that stuff, but there definitely has been some hang-ups in the TK and drinks world that, behind the scenes. So maybe I'll try to, like I said, I want to try to scoop some stuff up for December. There's some audio for the Hierophant thing, but the majority of the audio is just not there. So I might be able to piece something together. But that's what I'm trying to do December, get a little bloopers reel, oops, uh-ohs, and let y'all watch me screw up a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so That was definitely something. But so that's going on. What else we got coming up in the TK and drinks? Oh, I got an interview next week with Cult Mead, KVLT, out of Tacoma, Washington. Visited them when I was up there as well. Picked up a bottle I've been sitting on, and I've been dying to try it. It's a blackberry vanilla aged on American oak, and I am hoping that is... Yo, excuse me for a second. I gotta let a cat out of the room. Get the hell out of here, cat. Go. Yeah, and I'm back. Ugh, there we go. Okay. So, yeah, Cult Mead interview next Tuesday with those cats. I'm going to try to have that edited and released ASAP. I want to be done with missed weeks for the rest of the year, so I've been planning for that and trying to keep that going. Got reviews coming out, and yeah, sorry. Tony's comment here caught me off guard. Fuck it, you should still post them explaining at the end in the first and Charlie Chaplin in the other one. Charlie Chaplin one. You know, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. That's what I'm gonna probably end up doing in December is posting those things, and to that same, I guess, comment, that's one of the things I'm going to start trying to do is a little voiceovers during my videos to see if it can't make it a little more dynamic. Okay, so here again, as you saw, if anybody watched out, Charlie Chaplin with like the screen, get the old film grainy, and then the little slide cards that have stuff, and I like that. We could probably do something like that. But yeah, so I think I'm going to try to do some voiceovers on the things and make them a little more dynamic. And if anybody watched the one I just posted today, I just posted that video of me doing the racking video, and you can see all the mistakes I made there. Wouldn't letting gravity, you know, work with me, and just pumping that siphon, pulling up all the lees off the bottom and whatnot. Oh, what's up, Gabe? Hazy and AZ, that's the homie. And you know, it's been a learning experience with this whole mead making thing and racking meads and whatnot. So you know, but in that video, if you saw it, I had a slide, a little clip at the bottom said footage not found. And again, that's something that happened transferring footage over off my phone camera over onto the computer, trying to you know, make it more dynamic, so I have a close-up of the mead and all that stuff, and multi-camera setups and whatnot. And again, the footage didn't transfer over. I thought it did. Especially after that mishap with scale and feather stuff back in August, I've been like double checking my triple checks and everything, and it just slipped through the cracks. So I still put that one out, obviously, just let the little file footage not found slide through and let it go. But I'll drink to mishaps. And I'm already getting a ton of feedback on that home brew. You know, like I said, not pumping the siphon, letting gravity work for me. And I kind of already knew that. I was thinking I should probably do that, but my camera guy brain got in the way, and I said, nah, it's not going to work for the shot where we have the camera set up, and I was already in a hurry to get everything. Yeah, that was my problem. I was just hurrying too much, so I didn't set it up. But next time, even to get a better shot on that camera, I'll stack up some books, or I'll throw I'll throw something down and get the one on the mead is leaving and going into, leaving up higher, so the one that's going into is at a lower volume or lower elevation, and that way we can, you know, so let that siphon action do its job, and maybe, you know, not pick up a bunch of lees and pick up a bunch of sediment and all that crap. So it is what it is at this point, unfortunately. Not really much I can do about it. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, if you're a big fan of mead videos on YouTube, which I hope you are because you're watching me, even though I'm here on Instagram, there's a cat over there. He's not really a mead guy from what I can tell, but Josh Holbrook, the I think he was a homebrewer Mazer of the Year last year from, if it was the National Honey Board or from Mazer Cup, or maybe it was a national homebrew competition. I can't remember. He's a national homebrew mead winner for last year, from some renowned competition, and he hooked up with I guess his buddy runs this YouTube channel called Chop and Brew. About 25,000 followers. There's a good chunk. But if you go over there, they've got a series right now they're calling the B-Jam series, Better Judge A Mead. And they've got 6 of the cats that are, I mean, say what you will of the mead industry, you know what, these cats know what they're talking about. They got Ken Schramm on there. They got Peter, I can never pronounce his last name, Berziak. It's something Polish. I'm pretty sure it's Polish. It looks Polish anyway. They got Ken Schramm, they got him, they got Carvin Wilson, they got Chris England on there, they got Tom Ripa, and Fetty, I can't remember what his first name is, Doug Fetty something. But they got these 6 dudes over there that put on about an hour, anywhere from an hour to hour and a half long little, I don't know what you would call it, like essays or like little interviews that you can watch. You can actually get BJCP non-judging credit for watching these because they're linked up through the BJCP and all that stuff, I guess. But they're going through just the best, how to be a better mead judge from, you know, from these 6 different guys' point of view. They have a lot of the same. I've watched them twice now already, each one going through trying to take notes down and everything, so I can fill out the little paper to get my credits once I become a judge. But these guys have, I mean, they say a lot of the same stuff. There's, like I said, they're anywhere from an hour and an hour and a half long, and they, you know, they beat a dead horse. They beat this point like a dead horse. That don't let other people influence what you're judging. You know, excuse me. Judge how you judge. Look if there's somebody else out there that you like the way that they judge. Watch what they do, steal their techniques, use them as your own. Don't listen to people's chatter at the table. Don't let people talk and influence. You know, if somebody says that they picked up something that you don't, you know, after, you know, you're done filling out your score sheet, you know, don't go back and change all that stuff. To be confident in your palate. Trust your palate. You know, you've gotten to this point. If you're judging at the mead comp at the Mazer Cup, you've done something right in your judging experience to at least trust your palate. Not to say that you can't be wrong. Not to say that it's, you know, not to say that you're going to know everything. You're going to come across honey varietals and fruits that you've never had before. And it's okay to not know all those answers. It's okay to not have the answer to what this one particular variety of honey tastes like fermented. There's a lot of shit out there that people don't know. Does that mean that you should just give up on it? No. Does that mean that you should go to Google and just look it up and try to write something in there and fake it from there? No. What that means is if it's something that you want to work on, it means you try to seek out that honey variety yourself, and if nothing else, just try it as it is. You know, you can, now I'm assuming, I hate using that word, I'm assuming, but I'm guessing that the more times you ferment with different types of honey, you'll start picking up, in different types of yeasts, you'll start picking up subtle nuances. Okay, this yeast always imparts this character profile, or this honey, once it's fermented, always has these types of aromas in it. You know, once you get all that stuff down and memorized, you know, you can probably pick and choose your way through a lot of stuff, but you're always going to run across something that you've never had that you don't really know about. And like I'm learning from this series, I was terrified, absolutely terrified to go to this thing because I don't really feel like I know anything. I feel like I'm going into this to be, I feel like I'm going to be there being basically the I use these terms loosely, but I'm going to be the dumbest guy in the room. Always, which, you know, now that I think about it, saying those words out loud, it's giving me an epiphany right here. I wasn't in somewhere. I was listening to a group of fairly successful people talk, and they had actually mentioned that you don't go. It's okay to be the dumbest guy in a room, because then that means that you can only learn. You can learn something from everybody there. You know, being the smartest guy in the room while it can be a nice stroke to your ego, you know, you're not really advancing yourself. Now, there's times when I think it's appropriate to be the smartest guy in the room. You know, I would love to see some of these world-class mead makers go out and judge like local homebrew competitions and put their 2 cents in. You know, so to say, instead of say trying to win medals, go in and try to you know, help other people make a better mead. You know, and that's one of the things that Carvin Wilson talks about in the series. You know, if you got 12, 13, 14 medals from a homebrew competition, don't you think you've already, you know, pretty much taken everything you can from them? You've got 14, 12 medals. Come on, go there as a judge, help other people make a better product. What's one of my favorite sayings on the show? A high tide rises all ships. If you're going to sit there and just go and hoard everything for yourself, you're blocking off the bay, making sure that water can't get in, and you know, whatever else. Sorry, bro, need to go. Great watching you wax on. Send me a link for those videos, please. Have a good night. Later on, Tony, I will get you that link over to the Chops and Brews for sure. Got you. But you know, it speaks very true to Carvin speaks true to the situation. You know, if you got somebody who's out there stealing, not say stealing, but somebody's out there who's hoarding medals, you know, playing the local dragon, collecting all the gold they can for themselves, they're not really helping their local community as much as they could be. You know, it's cool that you can, you know, and the same thing goes for the home brewers that, you know, make a really good stuff and just sell their stuff on the secondary market, as opposed to, and kind of have a shitty attitude about it, as opposed to really, you know, putting good faith and good effort back into the mead community as a whole. I don't know if that's the way to put it, but watch the episode of Chop and Brews, Better Judge A Mead with Carvin Wilson, and you'll see what he says about that. But the whole series, like I said, I watched it, the whole thing, I believe, twice. Most of them twice. I think one of them I have only seen one time. I'm going back through, like I said, taking notes on my second go round and everything like that. And it's an amazing series. And if you want to know anything better, how to be a better judge, this is a great spot to start. Now, granted, these guys aren't the be-all, end-all to judging. They're just 6 dudes that have a lot of experience. I mean, I'm sure gathered amongst them, you've got 6 guys. I'm sure you've got 100+ years of mead making experience amongst, you know, collectively. So I think there's a little something to be said about listening, at least listening to what these cats have to say. And you know, one of the things I learned in college, man, when you're listening to something like that, take what you need, leave the rest. Maybe even revisit it in the future, and you might find something else that you didn't know that you needed, and you pick that up later on down the road. But I highly recommend scoping those out. I learned a lot of stuff from them, a ton of stuff I'm going to be implementing into my videos coming up. So, like I said, you're going to see TK and Drinks videos constantly animating, morphing, changing, and trying to get better with each episode, instead of trying to make just like a whole group of changes and just implement them all at one time. I'm just going to start rolling them out, and we're going to just try to make better as we go. Make better, do better, be better. I have to go that route with it. So let's hit up this probably not going to do a Chug Norris on this, but remember, Fulcrum from Equilibrium, definitely some business. I was hoping my buddy Gabe would be able to stay on for a little longer. He's trying to have somebody come on the show, so if anybody out there wants to pop in, send me a little notification. I can see if I can't invite you onto the old in the old stream, and see if we can't do some of that. And you know, again, like I said, TK and Drinks constantly starting to roll out them changes, try to get some people invited and involved in, do some collabs. I would definitely want to get some collab videos done, even start like maybe an interview series outside of the What's the Story series, and like a collab video series. Like I'm having, like here on Instagram, if you see, I've tried, I'm not the most creative, unfortunately. As creative as I like to think I am, I don't always get to be the most clever person. But I try to take some pretty unique pictures of some of the beers that I got, you know, try to do some beertography. And but one of the things I'm going to be doing with that mead, start trying to incorporate mead bottles into that as well, more often than not. and I want to try to collab some of those with other types of Instagram cats. You know, I've been pushing and hemming and heeing and hawing about whether I want to, how much I really want to put into the Instagram thing. You know, am I just going to kind of use it as a TK and drink secondary thing? Am I just kind of be like on the side note? Because I really put nearly as much effort into this as I do into Facebook and YouTube, just because I'm not really that familiar with the Instagram platform and everything. But I definitely think that I'm going to go that route and start trying to do like collab videos on here and everything like that, because I want to expose mead to a broader audience. I want to expose my audience to a broader variety of things that they could possibly pair up with their meads, or things that they could, you know, necessarily collabs that they wouldn't have not necessarily thought of before. You know, so trying to think outside. Here's the box. Me thinking here, box. Where do you make a box? There we go. Box. My thinking. Box. Me thinking outside the box. So, you know, like I said, keep an eye out for all that stuff. Follow me, subscribe, hit that notify bell over on the YouTube channel. Follow me here on Instagram. You do the Facebook thing over there. Definitely not on the TikTok yet. Coming up on 40 years old. I know I probably would not be the oldest person over there. It just feels a little out of my comfort zone right now, and I'm got a lot of things out of my comfort zone. So I think I need to pick a couple of things that are in my comfort zone just to kind of, you know, keep a foot grounded in reality, so to speak. So there's that. And what else? Oh, last week was my birthday, 10/4. Had a pretty cool birthday week, I guess. Had my mom in town. We got to go. We actually are kind of disappointed with one of the things we did. We went down to this place called the Biosphere here in Arizona. Like, you remember that movie Pauly Shore and Brendan Fraser? We got the Biodome movie. You know, they got one of those. That's here in Arizona. I don't know if it's the exact one from the movie, but they got a biodome here. They call it the Biosphere, and there's Biosphere 2. I want to say one of them was, the first one was like taken over by ants or something like that. Maybe that was a wives' tale or like folklore or urban legend that I heard, but I want to say the one was taken over by ants. But anyway, it's a giant biosphere. I mean, I got 4, 5, 6 different types of environments in there or something like that. They got like an ocean, they got a rainforest, they got a desert. They got all this just different types of they got these different types of climate. You can walk through there and see everything. I mean, it's crazy to be in the middle of the Sonoran desert supposedly, and you got these trees that would only be growing, you know, in like South America or something like that. It's cool, but the things that sucks is it's 2+ hours, right around 2 hours, you know, depending on how you drive or in traffic and whatnot. So let's call it little over 2 hours outside of Phoenix, just outside of Tucson, and so that's a long drive with some kids in the car. And you get there, and it looks really cool when you're driving up. I have to be honest. You can't see it until you drive right up on it, and you drive over this hill, and like in this little valley, it's like boom, there it is. And you got this towering pyramid of glass, and you've got these giant dome structures that have these like rubber grommets on. I mean, we're talking like, I mean, they're building like a small football stadium shaped dome, and they got these rubber bands that go around them, and they call it the lungs. And as the pressure builds inside the things, it goes through the system, and these things like raise and shrink. I mean, it's really cool. But like all in all, the whole thing is like 45 minutes to walk through. I mean, you get to see the original, like, because they had people living there back in the 90s and stuff like that. You get to see where they stayed. You get to see their living quarters and the kitchen and all that stuff. And I mean, it's cool. It looks like a kitchen, and I mean, it doesn't look anything overly fancy. It's just neat to oh, hey, cool, there's people living here for 2 years, and they were locked in here. They got the air seal and everything like that door. But you know, once you get out of the habitat area and you get actually out into the dome part of it, the biosphere part of it, it is very restricted on where you can go and what you. I mean, now I'm not expecting to let everybody just obviously walk through there. I mean, people would be picking leaves off of shit and be spray paint around and bubble gum stuck to trees and whatnot. I get that. But there's no like the amount of area you get to walk through and look at versus how big these things are is absolutely, like, there's just a huge variance there. Like, I wouldn't even put a percentage on it. I mean, I guess you get the one area, you get the desert one, you get to walk through pretty good. I mean, the path like walks through the middle, and you can see out to the edges. You can get a pretty good look. I mean, granted, there's not a lot of tree cover in the desert, but you can pretty much see all the different types of foliage and everything that's going on. But you get up into like the rainforest part, it goes through this like big ass rainforest. Like the biggest dome part is the rainforest part, and it lets you go through like I bet it was like 25 steps from in one door on this wall, turn a left, walk like 20 steps, like 12 steps this way, 13 steps this way, and you're out another door. And it was pretty much the lamest part of the whole biosphere. Like, you spend all this time with your, you know, in the car with your kids and all this stuff, and you don't get any time in the rainforest. And then the ocean part, like, you're up above on this platform, just looking down and thinking, oh, cool, well, maybe there's. I understand they're not going to let me go out in the ocean. I understand they're not going to let me, like, spit in the ocean or anything like that. But at least let me get down a little bit closer and see if there's some animals in there. Let me check it out, you know? Now, there ain't no close down to the ocean. You get to look at it from about, I don't know, 30, 40 feet up. I mean, you're up there. It's a good distance down to that. Maybe, I'll say 30 feet. Maybe 40 feet might be a big stretch. But, I mean, you're up there a good ways to where you couldn't, I mean, you can barely see. It's just really underwhelming, and you never get to go down there, and it's a whole thing. So, if you do come to Arizona, or you're from here and you've never been to the biosphere, I would say don't make a trip out of it. But like, if you're in the area, it's definitely something cool to swing by and check out. It's kind of expensive, $25 a head to get in there for 45 minutes. Like, I'm trying to do like my dollar to minute value here, and I don't believe this place was worth the $2 a minute. To walk around in there. But hey, you know, each his own. Like I said, it's definitely cool. I appreciate what they're doing. It's not like I don't think it's a worthwhile project. I mean, they learn a lot of stuff that they got. I mean, they have a lot of controls that they can do. It's a really cool, unique thing that they're doing. Like, my best advice is, like, if you really, really want to check it out, go to the U of A and take whatever classes that you get to go out to the biosphere, because they got like a dorm out there, and you can stay out there and do it like full time and everything. But like, to go out there and visit is neat, but it's probably going to be pretty fucking underwhelming. So it is what it is at that point, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's what I did the week of my birthday. Went down there, drank some beers, went out to the Yard House. Mom took me out there. We got some cake. Actually, you know, the Yard House is pretty good food for being, you know, kind of a, I think it's like a chain. I'm pretty sure the Yard House is a chain, but pretty good food. 100+ taps, beers on tap. Got myself a Spellbinder. If you're a fan of TK and Drinks, if you've seen any of the TK and Drinks shows, you've certainly seen me drink a Spellbinder before. From a local place here called Wren House Brewing. It's got like this 3D logo. It's an all white can. It's got just a Spellbinder on it in big bold black letters, and then offset in the blue and red. So it's kind of like that the old 80s like 3D glasses looking thing. Yeah, it's kind of harsh on the eyes to look at, but man, that's a phenomenal. It's a phenomenal IPA. I'm a big fan of the Spellbinder. It's probably if I had to pick a daily driver, that would be it. It's just a good all around beer. But yeah, so birthday week went by, did that. Got the new meads coming in from Birminghorn and Spacetime. Trying to pick up a case of this blueberry from Opagard. Hopefully I can get that bought before he sells. His stuff sells out so fast. It's hard to pick up bottles of it sometimes. So that I put my order in. It's like, man, it was sold out before I even got my order in. And can't order something that doesn't exist anymore. But that's a good. It's a shitty problem, but it's a good problem. I mean, of all the problems to have a problem of I can't get my stuff because it's so delicious, everybody else buys it before I can buy it. And at least means I'm at least carrying a brand that is a delicious brand that people want and desire. So, plus I love Opagard's 750 bottles. A 750 of Opagard's blueberry mead. If you haven't been on that, go buy some after I get mine. After I get mine to sell here. Yeah, go pick up some of that blueberry from Opagard. It's amazing. Hopefully he's got some dragon's blood coming out. Hopefully he's got some blackberry coming out. Everything Opagard does is very unique. Some of them aren't necessarily my favorite. Taco one was not for me. But his stuff is all good, like technically good, technically sound stuff. Again, just find a flavor profile that you like, and you're going to be a happy camper with his stuff too. All right. So the one thing I've been kind of holding on to, I'm saving for the last 10 minutes, because if anybody went through the came through 50 minutes of whatever else to this, you deserve to hear my raw, unadulterated comments. So one of the things I haven't disclosed anywhere yet, and I'm not sure I even will outside of this video until maybe after, but my competition organizer for Mazer Cup is Carvin Wilson. And if you know who he is, then you're in the know. If you don't, Carvin is, I don't believe he's a BJCP judge. He may be. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. But this dude is a honey aficionado. He's got honey, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of honey from all around the world. He's got a doomsday cellar full of thousands of bottles of mead. The guy is a breadth of knowledge when it comes to mead related stuff. Honey especially is his forte. He's working with the Shrams and Mr. Peter B, I cannot pronounce his last name, and those guys over there at the Mead Institute to try to put together a more refined version of judging techniques, judging skills, just something a little more, something more mead specific as opposed to being like an add-on to something. Go check it out, Mead Institute. At least put your eyes on it, see what they're about and everything. Whether you join or don't join, that's not up to me. That's up to you. But it's an interesting concept, if nothing else. But Carvin is a wealth of knowledge. So he's the one who's organizing the competition, and so I had to reach out to him and get this thing figured out about what's going on and where it's at and all this stuff over the past couple months since COVID put everything on change and changed the whole everything up as far as that was going. So I've been talking with Carvin, got everything going, set up, got my tickets, got my hotel, where everything's all set to go and everything like that. And in one of his emails to me, he says that he's seen my videos and feels that I'm in that regard, that I'm probably going to be doing okay as far as from what he's seen, from my shows. I don't know how many he's seen. I don't know which ones he's seen. I don't know if it was 2 seconds of every one of them or if he's watched every single one of them all the way through. But he said he's seen some of my videos, and that from what he sees, that I should be be in an okay position, be in a pretty good position come the competition. Now that made my pride swell and got my head all big and had me thinking, man, I'm going to do kick-ass at this. I'm going to ace this thing. It's going to be no thing. And I have to do everything I can to rein myself in, because I'm feeling like, that had me feeling some type of way, like, man, Carvin thinks he's seen your shit and you think that, what you're doing is on the right path. You got to be going down the right path, but you can't get stuck into that mentality. I can't get stuck into the, oh, so-and-so said I was good, so I'm doing good. No, fuck that. Fuck what one person says. Take the compliment, leave the fucking rest of it there, and continue down the path of what you've been doing to try to gain knowledge. In that BJM series, that's what all those guys saying. The Better Judge A Mead series, all those cats are saying the same thing. Expand your knowledge. Don't try sample mead outside your region. Don't develop a region bias. If you're from the sugar belt, try stuff from outside the sugar belt. If you're from the Southwest, where I'm at now, try stuff that's not all mesquite blossom and orange blossom honey. If you're up in the Northeast, try something that is from, not from there. Expand your palate, expand your repertoire of knowledge. Buy honey and taste it. So, like I said, I got all swelled up and got all high and mighty for a little bit there for a couple days. But I'm really trying to bring myself back down to earth. And just because one guy who has a whole lot of knowledge says something positive about you, doesn't mean that the 99 guys behind him ain't gonna have the exact opposite thing to say, and you know, think that you're underqualified, you don't have no business being here, and woody woody woo. So I take the compliment, and it's a big compliment coming from, you know, somebody who's doing all that. But I gotta, if nothing else, what it's doing is giving me confidence to continue doing what I'm doing and making a better product out of the TK and Drinks brand. So definitely, like I said, learning everything I can from this Better Judge A Mead series. I'm learning everything I can from going back and rewatching my videos, trying to make them better, see what I used to do versus what I'm doing now. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable on the camera. Maybe that's a lot has to do with these TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live. That was initially the whole purpose, is to, you know, get better at waxing on in front of the camera and be able to not just have dead space and a lot of edits around my stuff. You know, just to be able to flow the conversation better. And I feel like it's doing its job. Is it where I want it to be? Probably not. Will it ever be where I want it to be? Maybe not. You know, you're your own worst critic. You know, some people I think, man, I think you're doing a great job. I think you speak publicly well. And I'll probably always be harshly critical of my stuff. But again, it is what it is. It's kind of how it goes. And I need to get a different poster. I'm tired of having this damn Walking Dead poster. I mean, Walking Dead was legit when it was out. It's just kind of left over from the days of when it was still cool. And I'll put my head in front of it and see if we can't get some records and whatnot over there. But yeah, so like I said, go watch the B-Jam series over there on Chop and Brew. I will try to put a link up to the Chop and Brew stuff if I can. And yeah, so it's been a hell of a day, hell of a week, hell of a night. Oh, what's up, Sisters of Craft Brew? In and out real quick. Thanks for showing up. I try to watch your videos as often as I can. Was not doing a chug video right this second, unfortunately, but hey, you stopped by, so I will take that as a positive. Let's crush this. Actually, you know what? Let's crush it. Sorry about lost that out the side of my mouth. Had to call that audible and not chug that. As you can see from the beginning of the video, if you listen to what I was saying, these guys make a clean IPA. As hazy as that was not all funky and nasty down at the bottom. So, hey, it is what it is at this point. We are going to do one more real quick though at the end. This one is Boketh. I have no idea what this is. I grabbed it blindly off the shelf, but it's Equilibrium. So, like I said, I've been saying that all along. I just grab them blindly at this point. I trust everything that these cats do. It's a double IPA from them again. They do not put any of their hop profiles, flavor profiles, any of that stuff on the can. So, looks like you got to go off to Untapped or something if you want to pick those flavor profiles up. But there's another double. See if we can't give it a pop and taste real quick before we gotta call it a wrap on the TK and Drinks. It's like a 2-minute warning. So here we go. See, again, another super hazy one. Ooh, I haven't got a lot of head on it. Could be the way I was pouring. Ooh, this one smells like almost like candy, like. Smell. Damn it. It smells all like sugary, almost like sweet. Ooh. Now I'm gonna say chalk that one up to being warm. Maybe it's got Nelson hops in it. That's got Nelson hops in it. I'm kind of picking that up. But this one's definitely the booziest. I don't mean boozy. I mean like that's got like the most amount of the straight up raw alcohol flavor that I've had from these guys. So maybe don't randomly grab a Boketh. Pretty much everything. You know what? Fuck it. Grab it. Might be your fucking thing. But yeah. So go Boketh. Go anything from Equilibrium Brewing. Hey, what's up? I don't know who's here. Hopefully it's somebody. Hazy. Oh, Hazy, what's up? Raw alcohol. Yes, it definitely does smell like raw alcohol. It smells like I Now, it doesn't smell like raw alcohol. It tastes like raw alcohol. It tastes like somebody had like brewed it with rubbing alcohol or something. Or like cheap vodka. I was gonna try to do a Chug Norris on that, but man, I think I'm gonna skip on that because that might come back up. That is not pleasant. I'm gonna have to chalk. I'm gonna call that one my mistake for letting this get warm. Now I know that's not really an excuse because beer should be drinkable warm or chilled, room temperature, or whatever. But man, this is most definitely my least favorite I've had from Equilibrium. I'm kind of fucking upset that it's on camera. But it is what it is, unfortunately. So, looks like we are running up against that 7 o'clock time slot. So, thank you all for being here on the TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live 10-12 episode. Listening to me wax on about all my bullshit going on in my life, my beers, my meads, my judging, and again, that BJM series. Scope that out if you really want to know more about judging meads and just educate yourself more on the judging process in general. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. What was it that Fox used to say on the Man Show? Ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Triple dry hop thread count, hell yeah. Drinking that black stack, baby.